Setting goals is a fantastic way for students to envision their future and take steps towards making it a reality. However, in my opinion, it's not a skill we're born with. It's something we have to work at and learn over time. And one step that really sounds simpler than it is for students is writing the goal. Hi, I'm Evan Reed, owner and founder of Reed's Corner. I've been working in college admissions and student success for nearly 2 decades, and I have some tips I'd like to share. In my goal setting video, I talked about a 6-step process that I use to help students write and set goals. And in it, I mentioned that when it comes to actually writing the goal, I use the SMART methodology. And I'd like to talk a little bit more about that. Now, when it comes to writing goals, there are a lot of different methods, and there isn't one that's better than the other. There is no best method. There's just what's best for the student. The one that I've had the most success with is the SMART methodology. I have found it's a functional framework that's easy to explain to students, and it really almost makes writing the goals formulaic. So, SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And in short, it just means that the goal that's written has to meet all 5 of those elements. So as students are writing their goals, I actually sort of check in with them along the way to make sure that what they're writing and the goal that they're setting for themselves meets the SMART standard. So is it specific? Meaning, is the goal narrowly focused on a singular achievement, skill, task, or whatever it is that they want to improve on? Is it measurable? Now, this often does trip students up just a little bit because the measurement can be a lot of different things. It could be quantifiable, like grades or time or amount. It could also be dichotomous, such as yes or no, or something happens or doesn't happen. Is it achievable? This is where an adult's guidance can really be helpful because sometimes really ambitious students may want to do more than is reasonable to expect of themselves, and other students may not be pushing themselves enough. It really is a balancing act, and you know your student best, but I also like to remind students that if we do set a goal that's out of reach or doesn't go far enough, we can edit that later on too. Is it realistic? This often ties with the achievable and measurable components. So if after reading it, it doesn't feel realistic to you, try adjusting those 2 things, and you may find that it does make it more realistic. Is it timely? I try to get students to focus on goals that they can achieve over the course of a school year or a calendar year. Now, it's not uncommon that during this process, students may have bigger goals, longer term goals. That's great, keep them, write them down. I actually write them in the same document, and I put it under a heading of 5-year goals, because really those can help to drive some of those shorter term goals. Now, let's be honest, theory is great, but sometimes it's helpful to look at or use an example to kind of explain it even further. So let me introduce you to Angel, my hypothetical student. Angel is a high school sophomore who dreams of going to college. Angel typically earns A, B's, and C's, and with their desire to go to college now, Angel's aware that their grades need to be B+ across the board or higher. So Angel writes the following academic goal. By the end of the school year, I want to earn a B+ or higher in all of my classes. So let's see if it passes the SMART test. Is it specific? Well, it's focused on improving or maintaining grades in all of Angel's classes. I'd say that's pretty specific. Is it measurable? Well, the goal is going to be measured by the grades Angel earns. So yeah, that's a reasonable measurement. Is it achievable? Well, given Angel's current grades and the time frame, I'd say that this is definitely achievable. Is it realistic? Again, with Angel's age, college aspirations, timeline, and current performance, yes, I think that this is definitely realistic, and I've seen students do this. Is it timely? The goal is focused on Angel's performance over the course of the school year. So that's a perfectly sufficient time frame with which to try to achieve this particular goal. I hope my advice is helpful to you. If it is or isn't, you can share your constructive feedback by subscribing, clicking the thumbs up, and posting a comment. For more tips and advice, you can follow me here. You can follow me on all my other socials, and you can read the articles on my blog. Links are in the description. Wishing you peace and love.